Buddha Purnima is the auspicious, triply blessed day on which was born one of the greatest all-time teachers of humanity, Bhagavan Buddha. And on this very day, he had attained enlightenment and his parinirvana as well. To commemorate this auspicious occasion of Buddha Purnima, I would like to read out a brief excerpt from the book The Musings of a Monk, authored by the most respected President of Ramakrishna Math and Mission Worldwide, most revered Swami Smaranananda Ji Maharaj. The excerpt is from the article Jiva and Jagat according to Buddha and Sri Ramakrishna, and is a comparative study of the philosophies of Buddha and Sri Ramakrishna. The threefold Buddhist canon is known as the Tripitaka, comprising the suttas or the utterances of Buddha, Vinaya containing the rules of disciplines, and Abhidhamma, philosophic discussions. In trying to understand Buddha's position regarding Jiva and Jagat, we shall mainly confine ourselves to the utterances of Buddha. Bhagavan Buddha's main quest was to find a way out of man's suffering. His was a fearless search for truth, without any dependence on the religion of the Vedas, of which the Karmakanda or the ritualistic portion had attained predominance in Buddha's time. After attaining nirvana, as a result of his deep meditation under the Bodhi tree, he declared his discovery of the Four Noble Truths, which show the path leading to nirvana or the extinction of the self. He said, "There is self and there is truth. Where self is, truth is not. Where truth is, self is not. Self is the fleeting error of samsara. It is individual separateness and that egotism which begets envy and hatred. Self is the yearning for pleasure and the lust after vanity. Truth is the correct comprehension of things. It is the permanent and everlasting, the real in all existence, the bliss of righteousness. The existence of self is an illusion, and there is no wrong in this world, no vice, no evil, except what flows from the assertion of self. The attainment of truth is possible only when self is recognized as an illusion. Righteousness can be practiced only when we have freed our mind from passions of egotism. Talking to King Bimbisara at Rajgriha, Buddha says, "Some say that the self endures after death. Some say it perishes. Both are wrong, and their error is most grievous. For if they say that the self is perishable, the fruit they strive for will perish too, and at some time there will be no hereafter. God and evil would be indifferent. When some, on the other hand, say the self will not perish, then in the midst of all life and death there is one identity, unborn and undying. If such is their self, then it is perfect and cannot be perfected by deeds. The lasting, imperishable self would never be changed. The self would be Lord and Master, and there would be no use in perfecting the perfect. Moral arms and salvation would be unnecessary." If self is an illusion, how is this illusion created and by whom? Talking to Anathapindaka, a wealthy man, the Tathagata asks, "Who is it that shapes our lives? Is it Ishvara, a personal creator?" And he himself answers, "If Ishvara be the maker, all living things should have silently to submit to their maker's power. They would be like vessels made by a potter's hand. And if it were so, how would it be possible to practice virtue? If the world has been made by Ishvara, there should be no such thing as sorrow or calamity or evil, for both pure and impure deeds must come from him. If not, there would be another cause beside him, and he would not be self-existent. Thus, thou seest, the thought of Ishvara is overthrown. Again, it is said that the Absolute has created us, but that which is absolute cannot be a cause. All things around us come from a cause, as the plant comes from the seed. But how can the Absolute be the cause of all things alike? If it pervades them, then certainly it does not make them. Again, it is said that the Self is the maker. But if the Self is the maker, why did it not make things pleasing? The causes of sorrow and joy are real and objective. How can they have been made by the Self? Arguing in this manner, Buddha rejects that an Ishvara or the Absolute or the Self or a causeless chance is the maker. Our deeds produce good and evil according to the law of causation. Having rejected all these, Buddha taught that all conformations are transitory during a discourse on nirvana to the monks of the brotherhood. One of the brothers questioned, "The Buddha teaches that all conformations are transient, that all conformations are subject to sorrow, that all conformations are lacking a self. How then can there be nirvana, a state of eternal bliss?" And Buddha replied, "There is, O monks, a state where there is neither earth, nor infinity of consciousness, nor nothingness, nor perception, nor non-perception, neither this world nor that world, neither sun nor the moon. It is the uncreated. That, O monks, I term neither coming nor going, nor standing, neither death nor birth. It is without stability, without change. It is the eternal which never originates and never passes away. There is the end of sorrow. There is, O monks, an unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed. Were there not, O monks, this unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed, there would be no escape from the world of the born, originated, created, formed. From the foregoing quotations, it is clear that Buddha categorically denies the existence of Jiva as a separate entity transmigrating from body to body. It is only the ego and the mind that creates the false impression of a permanent entity called the Jiva. Then, what about the world that we experience? That too is only a series of mental concepts, for the perceiver is impermanent and unsubstantial. It is again only the mind that creates the illusion of a continuing existence of a substantial world. We have seen that Buddha denies the existence of an Ishvara, the creator of the universe, and also the Absolute. But then his definition of the uncreate is practically the Vedantic Brahman, realizing which all sorrow comes to an end. Even according to the Ajatavada of Gaudapada, the Jiva has no separate existence apart from the Ajata, the uncreate, that is Brahman. While Buddha denies the existence of the self, he accepts the law of causation and rebirth. What then is reborn? Hinayana says, as a stable entity which, without itself changing, appears amidst changing conditions, bodily and mental, Buddhism does deny the self, but it recognizes instead a fluid self which, because of its very fluidity, cannot be regarded as a series of altogether distinct or dissimilar states. Thus, we find that Buddhism denies unity in the sense of identity of material, but recognizes continuity in its place. In other words, a series of thoughts continues to exist through some other medium. Therefore, the Jiva is nothing more than this series that perceives and experiences the world through mental modifications. This leaves the world and the individual unsubstantial entities, and attachment to them through the false ego creates the illusion of permanence. Only when this illusion is rejected and one realizes the uncreate, there can be the end of sorrow. This is the excerpt which I have read from the article Jiva and Jagat according to Buddha and Sri Ramakrishna from the book Musings of a Monk. I hope you have liked it. Please like, share and subscribe my channel Pradipta's Musings to listen to more such thoughtful excerpts from books authored by reputed personalities. Thank you.